Thanks for stopping at Davita's Stampin' Spot for a Technique Tuesday. I want to share with you today a technique, some different ways that you can use our embossing folders besides just embossing our cardstock. So let's get started. The first one I want to show you is this one here with the snowflakes. You're going to take your embossing folder, you want to look for the Stampin' Up! Logo, and that is the side you want to color on. This is one of our thinner embossing folders, which will make a difference here in a couple minutes. So what I'm doing is I'm taking one of our sponge daubers and I'm just putting a little bit of the balmy blue ink on the snowflakes. One of my customers contacted me and asked me about a technique she saw in the catalog, and I realized I haven't shared with anyone in quite a while on how to use our embossing folders like this. So thanks to Carlene, I came up with what I would teach today. So I'm just adding a little bit of the balmy blue to the snowflakes. You don't want a heavy hand, just light. All right. Now I'm going to take my Whisper White cardstock, and I have found that if you lay your paper on the other side, you don't have to worry about smearing your ink. So now we're going to close that. I also get to show you our brand new die cutting machine today. Just got mine. What I like is it folds up, so when I'm not using it, it doesn't take up very much space. The plates are numbered and they show us exactly what we need for each thing. This one plate you use when you're cutting out your dies. 3s, and you'll see our numbers are on there, are for cutting or for embossing. So we're going to, with our thin folders, so we're going to run it through the machine. What I like is if you don't have paper underneath it, it sticks to your base really well, and you don't have to try to hang on to it. All right. So as you can see, I've just added a little bit of the balmy blue behind there, and it just helps the snowflakes pop a little bit. Then what I did was I added the snowman from Snow Wonder out of our new catalog. Stamped him in the balmy blue, and then I took my colored pencils and colored him. I did have to fussy cut him. There's no punch for that. Then I used the rectangular dies. This set, if you don't have it, there's just so many pieces in there, which are really handy when you're trying to frame labels. And I wanted to show you how easy it is to use the new machine to cut out dies. So we're going to go back to this. And it tells us we need 1, 2, and 3. So here's number 2. Then our clear plates. And I'm going to take my paper and my die and lay it on here. Now they are coming out, or we do have a magnetic plate that will help hold things in place, but it's not available yet. So we can still run it through with this. And look how easy that comes out. My machine was getting so old and that it would take 2 or 3 times to run things through to cut them out. So I was shocked when it popped out with the very first time. So excited about that. All right, so that's our first one. Again, we just took the daubers and we added a little bit of balmy blue just to help the snowflakes pop. For the next one, I wanted to show you that you can use our sponge brayers to add the ink. So what I did, again, I'm going to look for the side that has Stampin' Up! On it, and we're going to lay it down. Going to take the brayer. Don't just rock back and forth or you're only putting ink on half of it. So pick it up and get your ink, and then we're going to roll it across the trees. This die is, or this embossing folder is also in the new August to December catalog. Just rub it across there. Again, you don't want it real heavy. Then I'm going to lay my paper on the side that doesn't have ink. And close it up. For this one, we need plate number 4 because it is for our 3D embossing folders. So if you weren't able to get the blue plate that we had previously to help with the 3D, this one will take the place of that 3D folder. All right, so we're going to run it, whoops, run it through. And the depth on this one, I just love this. I don't know if you can see it, but these front trees actually look like they're in front, that you're looking at these trees real. So that green just helps pop out that image so you can see it better. So what I did with this one is I just added some black to give it just some more pop, and then the sparkly ribbon, black ribbon. I thought about putting a greeting on there, but I really didn't want to cover up the trees. So that's how I did that one. Then one more that has just a little bit more to it. For this one, I'm taking our woodland die, or I keep saying die, embossing folder, looking for the Stampin' Up! Logo again. So we're going to lay it this way. And the reason I'm turning it around is if you look at the tree branches, we want to make sure the trees are going the correct way. So the first thing I did was I took soft suede ink, and I'm just going to lightly rub it over my embossed areas because I want it to pop just a little bit when I run it through the die machine. Kind of like we did with the snowflakes and the trees. Just adding a little bit of color to help bring out the image. All right, then to add to this one, we are going to take the deer from Nature's Beauty, and I'm going to stamp it directly on the embossing folder. Now when I do this, I want to make sure his face goes into an area where we can see his face. So in one of the blank areas. Push down like that. Then we're taking our paper, and this time I am going to lay it this way so I can kind of center it on the deer. Close it up, and we're going to run it through the Big Shot. This one is a thin folder, so we're going to go back to the base and the 2 clear plates to run it through. And now that that paper's not under there, look how I don't have to hang on to it to keep it from moving. I'm really excited about that. All right, so when we take this out now, your deer is behind the trees. I think that is just so fun. So on this one, I took the deer and put him behind the trees. And then this saying here, I got from the Autumn Goodness. And I think for right now, it's really a good saying. It says, plant kindness and harvest love. So I added that and popped it up with some dimensionals. So those are the 3 cards I created for you today, showing you the different ways you can put embossing, change up your embossing folder so it's just not an embossing folder. Remember, I used daubers for this one, the sponge brayer for this, and this one I just used a sponge and just added a little bit more to embossing folders. This is a special week for me. My Stampin' Up! Anniversary was on Sunday, and then my birthday's tomorrow. So instead of you giving me a gift, I'm giving you a gift. So for anything in the catalog that you can convince me has something to do with a birthday or anniversary, and you know I love creativity, so if you can come up with a creative way to pull something in that would be even better. I will give you a free ribbon or accessory. I would ask that your item be at least $15 or put your stuff together so that that would help me out. If your order is not over 150, if you'd use this hostess code, if you're ordering online, that would be great. Send your orders to me. If you do online, I will order the ribbon and send it to you after I find out what accessory you'd like. So I hope you enjoyed today's tips for Technique Tuesday. I would love to see what you create. One thing I really miss with not having classes is my cards are always a starting point, and then I like to see what everyone does with it. And I'm really missing that now because I show you mine, but I don't get to see what you create. So please show me in reply. If you do this technique, please show me what you made. And also, I am toying with the idea of doing a Facebook Live instead of the videos. So in the comments, let me know whether you'd rather just have the videos like I have been doing, or if you'd rather do a Facebook Live. I'd probably do it in the evening so more people would be off work and be able to interact with me. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next Tuesday.